Hello, we are back in action. And we're going to be talking about someone I didn't even know existed until I read a comment a couple weeks ago. I was originally going to do this video a couple days ago, and then I just kind of forgot. But we're here now. We're locked in talking about terrible wrestling promoters at 1:35 in the morning on I guess Monday morning now. But I'm a mark, so I don't care about losing sleep. All I care about is wrestling, because wrestling is real. And wrestling has some real bad folks, just like the subject of today's video, Dylan Hines. He is/was the promoter of Big Time Wrestling. I just gotta say, that's gotta be one of the worst names of a promotion I've ever read. It's so boring. You couldn't have come up with something a little bit better. Technically, it's also his father's promotion, and you'll know his father if you're a fan of 80s and 90s wrestling. His father was Bobby Fulton, who was a pretty big name in the territory days. Alright, I don't know why I said was. He's still alive. He's still alive. However, he does play a role in this story for all the wrong reasons. The title of this video is probably something like the worst wrestling promoter you've never heard of, because he's a relative random himself, that being Dylan Hines. But while being a relative random, he's also managed to make a lot of big names angry. A list of big names that include wrestling legends Rob Van Dam and Devon Dudley. When I say he's a relative random, he doesn't even have a cage match, and everybody on God's green earth has a cage match. If you've wrestled a match within the past probably 60 years, you have a cage match, which I guess makes you question his audacity even more considering his actions. This is going to be more of an informative rant. I'm not really going to give you a whole breakdown of the story brick by brick. This is just going to be me ranting about a terrible person, and this is bad business, right? For starters, we will break down what he's being accused of. He's being accused of forgery. He's also being accused of abuse, as well as not paying talent. We're gonna have a whole wannabe wrestler's court here in this video, alright? We'll start on the topic of bad business and everything that comes with it. We're just gonna rip the rubber right off. The majority of time, he doesn't pay his talent. There's been a ton of indie names that have basically came out and accused him, but the big names, obviously, are the likes of RVD. Alright, we're having a stroke again. I don't know what's up with my, I don't know what's up with my stuttering problem. But he has shorted the likes of RVD and Matt Riddle, a pretty big amount of money. I sat through like a couple of hour-long interviews of this guy talking about the whole RVD and Matt Riddle situations, and I swear to God, this guy is unbearable. He's unbearable, dude. If you have to continuously insult people to try to prove your innocence, you're guilty, bro. The entire time he was talking about Matt Riddle in all these interviews, all he would do would just be downplay Matt Riddle and talk about how he's on child support or some distasteful comment. I'll probably put up the text messages that he supposedly sent to Matt Riddle and whatnot. We'll have those on the screen for you guys to read. If you want to stop and read them, you can. But moving from Matt Riddle to RVD right quick, RVD was shorted a lot of money, especially during his time over WrestleMania weekend. I forget what he calls Bobby Fulton, but he calls Dylan Hines Dildo Hines, which I'd call him that this entire video, trust me, but I don't like my videos getting age restricted. I'm going to basically give you the SparkNotes version on everything that RVD said, but I'll link the interviews where he talks about the situation in the description if you guys really care enough to watch them. And oh baby, this is a 2-in-1 because it's both the father and the son. And RVD has more of a problem with Bobby Fulton than he does with Dodo Hines. So basically, Dylan Hines screwed him out of some money beforehand, and he was gonna go and work for Bobby Fulton under the discretion that Dylan Hines wasn't gonna be there. And see what happened was, if I've got it correct, was Dylan Hines was there. And he still got shorted money. And Dylan Hines was playing the tough guy act, talking all this rah-rah with RVD, and RVD was just trying to settle it in a calm manner. But Dylan had a problem because he didn't want to settle it in a calm manner, and now the two are just having a straight up like whole war. Well, I guess currently on February 17th, that war is over due to reasons we'll get to later on in the video. Don't you worry, Panther. It's RVD having a war with the entire quote-unquote Hines crime family. Bad business can also mean things such as unprofessionalism, as in the case with Devon Dudley. So you see what had happened was Devon Dudley came in to do this little meet and greet for Big Time Wrestling. But mind you, Dylan Hines didn't even have him a table like set up. Stay with me now, because he was also forcing Devon to do things such as signing just a bunch of like 8x10s, and was just extremely rude about the entire situation. See, I'll never understand things like this, because the audacity you have to talk to someone like that that's doing a favor for you, Devon don't need to be there for your little garbage indie promotion. Show him a little bit of respect, bro. He's doing you a favor and helping you out and drawing more people. In all reality, Dylan Hines is just a spoiled little man-child with a bunch of addictions. This is another case of just straight-up narcissism where he thinks he's on a pedestal and thinks he's higher than everybody else. He thinks he can just short people money because he thinks he quote-unquote has power. Newsflash, numbnut, you don't have any power, gang. You're a random indie promoter. From one random to another, you are not like that, twin. But to segue into the next portion of this video, because, you know, you can be a bad businessman and just be a terrible person when it comes to business, but not be a terrible person in all actuality. I know it sounds like contradicting, but you can be a good person, but a terrible person when it comes to business. I guess somebody's gonna understand what I'm saying. But newsflash, he's also a god-awful human being. Allegedly. And also, allegedly, he abuses his own father. Not physically, but y'all know the basis of elder abuse. And we all know Bobby Fulton isn't, you know, there's this saint himself. Like RVD will 100% tell you all the time, Bobby Fulton is not a saint, but he still doesn't deserve the treatment he's getting from his own son. And when I say he's not a saint, he's not a saint. I'm going to go ahead and play a voicemail of what he sent to just a random vendor.
Hey, Mike Thompson, it's Bobby Fulton. Your buddy talking there. I just want to let you know, I tried to tell Dylan what a no good, low down piece of shit you was from the get-go. But we found out again and again and again. You're fucking banned permanently from any fucking shows. I see you around, it will be a fucking problem. You feel me? I hope you do. You're nothing but a fucking thief. Come around those shows, try to steal autographs and shit. You're a low-life, egg-sucking, cop-sucking motherfucker, and that comes straight out of the Bible. You feel me? Goodbye. You come around, it will be a sad day for you, fuckhead.
Yeah, he's not a great guy himself, but still, the things that Dylan Hines does to him is just disgusting. It's just an endless cycle of just emotional abuse between both him and Dylan. Like, dude, you're father and son, and it's just wrestling. Get over it. Neither of them seem to be able to take accountability, neither because they keep blaming each other for the mishaps with big-time wrestling. Of course, this is all alleged, but the proof is right there, bro. To stoop so low to abuse your own father, I don't know, man. Especially your father that gave you this career and your father that gave you, like, this notoriety and name. It just proves that you're ungrateful and that you're a man-child and that you're a narcissist. Big Time Wrestling did end up having a show that was scheduled for March 8th of this year, but since all this stuff has came out, they have canceled that March 8th show. And I know not a lot of people are going to see it this way, but the way I see it is canceling that show is basically just an admission of guilt. And stating that you're leaving the wrestling business for good is just another admission of guilt. I know some people see it as he's just trying to get away from it. No, he knows he's wrong and he knows he can't defend himself, because if you were innocent, you would try and stay to defend yourself. I think that's just a natural human instinct, especially allegations this damning, bro. That like ruins your entire personal image. That's not just your wrestling image, that's your personal image. This is deeper than wrestling, and it hit different when it's deeper than wrestling. If you were innocent, you would prove your innocence. You wouldn't just go out there and insult other people for it. You would try to prove your own innocence. Like, I kid you not, every single defense of his own that I've seen so far has just been him insulting somebody. That's like back in middle school when you got called out for voice cracks during puberty, so you just try to insult everybody else to try to make yourself look cooler, I guess. All jokes aside, though, I can't be the only one that sees that and feels that way, right? And on top of that, he is extremely soft and will block anybody that shows any criticism, and he's just a weird guy, right? Oh man, people are hating me on the internet for being a bad person. No! How could you? Newsflash, numbnut, the world doesn't revolve around you and actions have consequences. As of right now, Dylan Hines is out of the wrestling industry, and Big Time Wrestling is a dormant promotion. That means RVD has accomplished his goal. Good job, Rob. Good for you. They can no longer short people money and scam them out of their fees. For right now, at least. As we know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist. These types of people, they crave attention and they want to be in the spotlight as this promoter that promotes this wrestling show. And we also know, and again, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that this happens all the time on the indies. This isn't a new thing. This is very common. This isn't rare. This isn't that bad GX Pokemon in the random pack. This is a common occurrence, unfortunately, and many people just don't end up seeing pay from a lot of promoters. One of the good things about the era of social media is that now we can call people like this out, and it's not a big issue anymore because it'll get handled. Online backlash in situations like this where somebody is clearly in the wrong and doing a bad thing, that like online backlash can be good, but it can also be very bad, obviously, and we're going to be covering a certain case on that later on with this certain Japanese wrestler. If you know, you know, and it's a very sad story. But as for right now, that's going to conclude this video on Dylan Hines. Of course, as for right now, there's probably going to be more things that end up coming out later on, but you know, that's going to be all for me. And also, just realized there's a lot of people that watch my videos that aren't subscribed, so you guys should subscribe. Insert clip of my friends telling you to subscribe right here.
Please like and subscribe to wake up Noah.
Please like and subscribe.
Please, I need this.
I beg for you. I beg you.
My
My
mom
life is on the line. Please
Please,
subscribe.
I'm Bronson and 5 years old, and when it's 5 years, and I am a degenerate.
Wow, thank you guys. That was so inspirational and so real and so like thought-provoking. Again, that's gonna be all for me. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you enjoy watching sarcastic people talk about their meaningless opinion on the internet. Join the Discord server. We're building up a community in there. Follow me on Twitter. I'm gonna start using it. I swear I'm gonna start tweeting. But and happy birthday, Ghost Bruh, the person that always comments about FF2. Happy birthday. He's in the Discord server, so you guys should join and tell him happy birthday. But yeah, y'all stay safe. God bless. Again, happy late Valentine's Day. Love y'all, bruh. We on the road to 1K. I appreciate y'all.